Are you a spender or are you a saver when it comes to money? What about your spouse? Did the two of you talk about money before you got married? Well, Hannah and Carter, they took the marriage preparation course that I teach. They also took a finance course together, and they felt like going into marriage, they were well prepared to keep money from being an issue in their marriage. So they agreed on a budget. They agreed that Hannah would be the one to write the checks, and they would look over the budget together every single month. Now, Hannah wasn't sure when she had juggled the books for the first time. She just knew there was this extra money in the grocery budget, and that she used it to buy something that she really wanted, and she didn't tell Carter anything about it. Looking back, the funny thing was that Carter would have said, sure, buy it, if she'd just asked him, but she didn't. The pattern of shifting money, well, it continued, and Hannah kept her purchases secret from Carter. So when they looked at the budget together each month, everything looked really great because it never really told the true story, the real story. The problem escalated when Carter brought up an idea of cutting a few things back to start a savings account. So they adjusted the budget and they put a line in for savings. Hannah told herself that her days of manipulating the budget finally were over, but that didn't last very long. She knew that Carter would eventually find out about everything. The savings line in the budget was getting larger, and there was no money to back it up. And when it reached $1,500, Carter thought they should invest part of it and try to get a larger return on their money, on their investment. So in tears, Hannah confessed the truth. Carter, well, he was devastated. He never in a million years thought Hannah would do something like that. So he asked himself, what do I do now? So I could tell you many more stories of money and marriage. And you probably could too. You know, if you find any list of problems in your marriage, you'll find money at or near the top of every single list. It seems in every story that I can think of, there was the transition of money into mammon. Money was never the problem. It was the heart that made the transformation. So if it was just something that God gave us to help navigate marriage, and we kept it in that perspective, well, these stories wouldn't exist. People don't come to counseling to tell me about their success with their budget. They do come to counseling to talk about mammon. When a spouse uses money to get their way, hides money from the other, maybe acquires secret credit cards, hides purchases or covers them by manipulating the budget, there's a problem. It's a big problem. My experience tells me that more people fight over money spent than over money saved. Fights about money spent involve how much is spent, why it was spent, why it was changed, why the account is overdrawn again, why the bills can't be paid, and on and on and on. A fight about money saved is really about money not saved, and the fear that we have nothing to fall back on if something happens. The fighting, well, it can vary in intensity, with a lot hinging on the personalities and the frustration level of the couple involved. If there were do-overs available, would Hannah jump at the chance? Oh, I think so. Their marriage was in shambles. It took a lot of time and a lot of building, and God showed up big time in their lives. So when you hear this story, what comes to your mind? Have you been tempted to do the same thing? Have you ever crossed that line? Has your spouse crossed that line? My best counsel to you is to never cross the line, but if you already have, know that we have a God who can heal anything and can turn mammon, he can turn it back into money.